born.
Glorify him.
المسيح ولد مجدوه. Christ is born. Glorify him. We are keeping a feast, which is the decisive point in the history, not only of mankind, but of the whole cosmos, of the whole universe. God, the living God, has taken flesh, thereby becoming a man among men, and yet revealing to us all the greatness, all the immensity of what man is, but at the same time uniting himself to a human body that stands as an image of all things created. He has become akin to all the materiality of this world. Everything, beginning with the smallest atom and ending with the greatest galaxy, can now recognize itself fulfilled, revealed in glory in the body of incarnation. This is a beautiful quote from Metropolitan Anthony Bloom. We actually read this article in one of our ministries recently, in the young adult ministries in the fast, and I felt while reading it, I wish I could just read this sermon on Christmas Day to the parish. I won't word for word, but I will choose a summary from it. I don't know if it's only me that feels that, but today, Christmas always feels different, even to non-believers. Even people who are not Christian, who don't believe that this is God that has become a human being, something different feels about Christmas. People have different secular holidays. You hear about them. في أعياد مختلفة بكل بلد. But there's a centrality about Christmas in the world that I don't think anyone can put into words. Christmas. And most people obviously don't understand why. And they do different things that are, from different cultures. But there's something I feel that God has planted when people remember that God has become a human being. Not only humanity, but all creation, living beings and objects and the universe feels a reversal of nature today. في عكس للطبيعة، انعكاس للطبيعة اليوم. مش بس البشر بيحسوا فيه، كل الكائنات الحية وكل المخلوقات الغير حية كمان تشعر فيه. انعكاس للطبيعة. A reversal of the law of nature by a decision, by a decree of the maker of the law. بقرار صانع هيدا القانون الطبيعي to reverse this law. The creator becomes a creation and stands in the midst of his creation. This is a preparation for the whole universe to be redeemed, to be restored to what it was supposed to be when created originally, in harmony, to live in harmony and peace with each other and with God the Creator. But one part of creation has a chance to respond in even a more profound way to this perfect manifestation, to this fullness of time, as St. Paul just told us in the epistle, to this adoption. لست بعد عبدا بل أنت ابن. You are no longer a slave but a son to the love of God. This part of creation that can respond even differently and more boldly is you and me, human beings. Because we were created in the Creator's image and likeness. يعني فينا نحن كل الخليقة ميلاد المسيح التجسد عم بيحضرها ليخلصها، ليعيدها لهدفها الأول، إنها تعيش بسلام ووئام مع بعضها البعض ومع الخالق. بس في جزء واحد من هالخليقة بيقدر يعمل أكثر من هيك. ما بس إنه يرجع يعاد إلى السلام مع الخالق ومع الآخر، بيقدر يجاوب بأكثر من هيك. هو الإنسان الذي خلق على صورة الله ومثاله. So what is this even greater response that this part of creation, human beings, can do? It is a participation, a communion, a taking part of the life and the work of this Creator, who accepts today to be born as a baby from a woman, surrounded by animals, swaddled with cloths that will be a preparation for his death, for his burial. Recognized by who? By the animals. Recognized by who? By the foreigners, the Magi, not by his people. Praised by who? By the simple shepherds. أبسط العالم, the simplest people. Him who is the great shepherd that came to bring us back into the sheepfold after we had been lost. So Metropolitan Anthony, in this sermon, he says, our response can be derived from the responses of the characters in Christmas, in the Nativity story. Mary, the Mother of God. She perfectly surrendered and gave herself to God's will in humility. We often take this for granted. Akid, when God comes to her and tells her you're going to be the Mother of God, of course she's going to say yes. In retrospect, everything looks easy. But she's a human being, like you and me. And she chose the difficult way. She chose to allow God's will to preside. Joseph, the second character. If you look at the icon of the Nativity, you see him in doubt. You see him alone, قاعد لحاله يوسف. وبعض الأيقونات في شيطان حده عم بيلعب له بعقله. There's a Satan, a devil next to him, tempting him, trying to give him doubt. But faith triumphed. He's looking in front of my fiancée, who I have not been with yet, with a child, and the words of the angels. Faith triumphed. Magi, the Magi, al-Majus. These are people of knowledge and science. ناس متعلمة كتير. They have a lot of knowledge. They spend their life monitoring the stars and the universe. Knowledge and worldly observation is great. Science is great because it can lead you to finding the Creator. The humility of those who have knowledge, who seek genuinely, will find God. Actually, God will use their knowledge to direct them to Him if they look genuinely. And finally, the shepherds. The opposite of the Magi. Hunike, well-educated, knowledgeable. The shepherds are the simplest people. They wake up, they start walking with their sheep, trying to find the closest green pasture. There's some food here, we stop here, we eat. They rely on God 100%. Wake up, start walking, whatever He provides, they find it. Simplicity. They are not educated, they know nothing in today's terminology. They were led in simplicity to the green pasture where the shepherd is, Christ the Lord. So from these characters today, let our response be in humility to submit our lives to God's will like Mary. When there's temptation, to let faith trump like Joseph. In knowledge, if we have knowledge, seeking God in knowledge. Seeking God in the mystery of creation like the Magi, and in simplicity, finding Him who loves us like the shepherd. This response is not very common in our world today. Submitting when things are tough, why would you? Just choose what makes you feel comfortable is what we hear every day. Choose what makes you feel comfortable. Don't challenge yourself. Faith, why? If you're doubting, there's a reason why you're doubting. That's what many say today. If you're doubting, it's your right to doubt. Just doubt until someone gives you a proof. That's what we hear. Knowledge, of course, everybody wants knowledge. The more I know, the more important I am. The more I know, the richer I am. The more popular I am. Knowledge pointing to us instead of pointing to the Creator. Simplicity and purity, let's not even start. It's a non-topic today. Beloved in Christ, Christ is born to fill heaven with mankind. المسيح ولد ليتم العالم العلوي، ليملأ العالم العلوي بالبشر. To fill, he has come here. The Patriarch of Jerusalem said yesterday in his Nativity message, he said, the Creator immigrated to my world to make me a citizen of his. هاجر الخالق على العالم تبعي، على البلد تبعي، لحتى يعطيني جنسية البلد تبعه. See how beautiful this is? And our response, as good as it might be, is nothing. It is so shy, so weak, so unworthy. It is nothing compared to what he does. But it is still indeed very much needed, our response. Just like God reversed the order of the nature to save you and me, يعني God becoming man, it doesn't make sense. A virgin giving birth, doesn't make sense. The Creator being fed as a baby, doesn't make sense. Just like God reversed the order of nature, we too might need to reverse the temptations and make bold responses. So in humility, we shine like the stars of heaven that point to one glory, that of the loving God. Christ is born, glorify Him.